welcome to Tea Time and Tarot on Looking Glass Letterbox for another general daily reading. These are not specific or personal readings. These are general readings, so it may connect with you, it may not. Hopefully there's something here that will be helpful or interesting or curious to keep in your pocket over the next few days as you're doing the things that you need to do. Last week we talked a lot about the sort of corridor between eclipses and all of the changes that are mixing up and spinning around, and either time and circumstancing is forcing a change, or individually you've decided it's time to make some alterations depending on the vision that you have for moving forward in your own life. We are in Gemini season, so that is the time of the intellectual expansion of what it is that we want to develop and what we want to move towards in life, what we're going to commit to, and where our conviction lies, what we're going to unify, what we're going to sort of see both sides of the coin, you know, the pros and the cons, so that we can be prepared to take a decisive, effective, and efficient decision on our next steps, what you're going to do next. One card, please. And also, what else did we talk about? Oh, at the mutable space. So we had Pisces and Gemini and Libra on the table quite a bit last week. The week before that, and I think the week before that, strength was on the table. So strength is preparing yourself and knowing who you are, knowing how you want to show up, knowing what it is you want to come into contact with, what you want to do, and how you want to behave in those spaces. Gemini is about the expansion of thought and the understanding of the stories you tell yourself, the sort of mental self-chatter, and how some of that can be either deceiving or incorrect or misleading. And then in Gemini season, under further analysis, just taking the observer space of what comes up in your thoughts and just, you know, looking at them objectively. And then also with Pisces in the mutable water space, same thing with your emotions, any emotions that are rising up. Taking an observer space and just acknowledging them, noticing them, but not from a reactive point, but from an objective point, so you can put all of those pieces together, sort of puzzle pieces rising to the surface to get a clearer picture of maybe what's been standing in your way and limiting you and blocking you previously, that you want to break through, because the fives have been on the table. We just came out of Taurus season, so the challenges and the obstacles and the conflicts, all of those sorts of things, sort of learning the lessons from those obstacles or challenges and acknowledging them so that you can integrate them and take them with you through Gemini season to expand, and then into Cancer season, which is to nurture and develop. All right, so on the table, we also had Libra on the table as well, and that's taking a bird's eye view from an objective space without judgment, employing some compassion, equanimity, equitability, and seeing how all of those pieces fit together, so you can decide how you want to navigate that space from where you've come, where you are now, and moving into where you would like to go next. So starting out today, we have the Five of Pentacles. So that is feeling a little ostracized, feeling left out in the cold, feeling stuck outside your regular avenue of interaction and resource and connection. Again, it's at the point of 5, so there's a lesson here to be learned. It's related to the Hierophant. There's some wisdom that is going to be imparted to you or discovered by you from processing through this Five of Coins. Coins, again, is the external material elements of life: homework, money, family, health. And this card indicates that you feel like you don't have any avenues available to you because you don't recognize any of them. It depends on, with the Five of Pentacles, it depends on where you're looking. See, behind her, she's outside, cold in the rain, and behind her is a building with this radiant light in all colors and people inside, but she's not looking at the window, considering that she has the option to go into that space. She's looking outwardly into sort of the desolation and the loneliness that she's currently sort of resonating with. So with the Five of Pentacles, it's about innovation. It's about looking at things in a way that you haven't considered them before as resources or connections or things that are available for you to interact with, to create, and to manifest. All right, and then, so feeling a little despondent, feeling a little left out of the cold for some of us at the moment. King of Wands, this is the visionary. Okay, he is masculine, divine masculine fire. So it is the maturity and the intelligence within the fire space, the passion, purpose, motivation, presence of thinking big things, having big goals, and understanding what needs to be done in order to make those a real thing. You know, it's not just like, let's just try this right now. It's like, no, I want to do something big. I have a vision of what it is that I am seeking, and I am going to employ my maturity, intelligence, accept my own authority and responsibility for making that happen and integrating it long term. I don't just want to have a party. I want my life to be a party sort of a thing. Or I don't want to just do this one thing today. I want to do this consistently, you know, over a more extended period of time. So what is your vision with the King of Wands? King of Wands is also Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is the wanderer and the storyteller, and taking the things that you know and the things that you are seeking and just taking it on the road and meeting people and discovering new things and sharing your wisdom and delight and, you know, things that you've enjoyed outside of yourself in new areas and new connections, and then also receiving that in return from those new spaces that you're existing in, from those new adventures that you're going on, from that freedom that you're embracing, and your authority to embrace that, and the responsibility that you have to yourself, and how you show up and behave along that road, and staying in alignment with what it is your vision is. All right, and then we have Judgment on the table, and Judgment is the calling after the fall, I suppose. But it's about being called to begin again, to go out on the next phase of evolution, forgiving the past, reconciling the past, embracing the lessons learned from that, knowing now what you didn't know then, and carrying forward from that point. Okay, so it's the call to be renewed. And in this corridor between eclipses with the lunar eclipse that we had several days ago and the solar eclipse coming up at the 10th, this is a transitionary period. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff in flux, a lot of stuff in sort of a metamorphosis, chrysalis sort of a situation. So paying attention to the thoughts and actions and emotions and memories of where you've come from to the point that you are now, and then looking at those things in light of what your vision is for the future and where you would like to go from there. You have to release and let go of things in order to free yourself from the past to move forward and embrace new and unknown quantities in order to allow yourself to be propelled into the future. But knowing what your vision is, knowing who you are, where you stand, where you're coming from, what you know, what you don't know, and what you are feeling sort of intuitively called to embark upon, called to seek out, what it is that you want, what it is that you're looking for. We had Virgo on the table in the last reading with the Hermit, and that is about the practical map of the path that you want to walk that's individual and specific to you moving forward from this point. So anybody who's connecting with that, keep those things in mind. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Cups. Okay, that is the card of Cancer. That is cardinal water. Cardinal is the beginning, you know, the initiation. So we have Cancer season coming up in a couple weeks. But she is sort of, in her cup here, she holds like the wealth of human emotion, and it's water in water. So it can be very turbulent. It can be very calm, but she's not thrown around by the water. She's not overcome by the water. She is the water. So understanding the flow of emotion that processes through development, and understanding how to employ that to nurture and to support where it is you want to go moving forward, is the divine feminine aspect of the Queen of Cups here. divine feminine water in the emotional space. All right, so be kind to yourself, be compassionate to yourself, and understand the hard decisions and the emotional sort of turmoil that can trigger for you, but understanding why it's important to make those hard decisions in order to release yourself, to become available to what is approaching in the future and the potential of new emotion and new cycle and new flow that is becoming available. All right, and then we have at the top of the deck your choices, your practical choices, what you're maintaining, sustaining, and intending to carry forward with you, what you're releasing, and then what time and circumstance are offering up to throw into that mix, the things in those elements that you're going to choose to integrate, and just the stuff that you have to deal with too. So maintaining that calm, flexible, adaptable balance in the middle of making all of those choices. This is related to the High Priestess. Okay, so there's an inner knowing, an inner intuition that's going to be available to sort of support you through those choices. All right, practically analyze the decisions you have to make responsibly, as always. But, pay attention to that intuitive voice that sort of speaks up. It's like, okay, if you make this decision, this is going to hold you back. What you say yes to and what you say no to is equally significant. Okay, and taking the responsibility for actively making that choices is equally significant in walking the road that you want to walk and seeking out the experience that you would like to come into connection with. And in the center, we have that Three of Wands again. What ships are coming in? What ships are on the horizon? What are you looking for? What would you like to become into active creation with? Active co-creation. Threes are related to the Empress, and that's the point at which the imaginary first is manifested into the reality. So the thought becomes the thing. The first step of making that happen. And that requires your participation in order to do that. You have to know what it is you're looking for. Be ready to identify the opportunities that are going to help you to make that happen. Be on the lookout for those things. Where is your focus? Are you looking in the right direction for the opportunities it is that you are seeking? Those are questions to ask in that respect. All right, we're going to clarify with the tarot stones. This is going to be a little loud, so I apologize about that. Oops. Okay, we got four of Okay, so we have thunder here. It's about to start storming here, so I hope that doesn't disturb anyone. Please bear with me. Four of Coins clarifying the Five of Coins. So knowing where you stand, knowing your four corners of stability in your material realm, your homework, money, family, health, all of those things, knowing the current status of those things that you have to go to grow from. Four of Coins can indicate a scarcity sort of mindset where you want to hoard and hold on to, but that can be stifling. So knowing the status of all of those practical aspects of your life allows you to know where you can afford to reinvest into potential and where you need to save to maintain stability. I usually liken the Four of Coins to a heartbeat. A heartbeat has to expand and contract consistently over time in order to sustain life. Okay, so in order to keep growing and keep sort of expansion in sight and keep flow and activity happening to avoid stagnancy, knowing where you can spend and where you need to save over the course of time is a valuable lot of information to have available to you. And it's also going to help indicate to you, knowing the status of those things, where it is you haven't considered a resource, who you haven't talked to for connection and for networking, what it is that you haven't sort of embraced or considered as something that can help you to get to the Nine of Pentacles, which is the 5 plus the 4, which is that sort of independently standing in the flourishing garden of what it is that you have manifested. You know, independent and strong and satisfied and being able to enjoy those things. So there's a division between the 4 and the 5 here. How can you unify those things to get to the 9 so that you can feel able and competent and empowered to continually invest in the future and aware that it is possible for you to manifest those things that are important to you. Okay, King of Wands, clarified by the Nine of Swords. Okay, this is the dark night of the soul. This is a nightmare path. So this is where your legitimate concern and your thoughts and your mental chatter and your story and communications, your legitimate concerns are hijacked by the worst case scenario, and your brain takes you down this path that sort of envelops you in fear, which perpetuates limitation and prohibitive thought patterns. All right, but the King of Wands can be employed in order to dispel those fears. Instead of thinking like, oh, what is everything that can possibly go wrong if I make this decision? King of Wands is like, you know what? These are all the things that can go right. And with that Two of Pentacles and the sort of, and your awareness of where it is that you stand with the Four of Pentacles and innovating and thinking of new ways to seek resource in order to make those, you know, all the great things that are possible to happen, to allow those things to happen, is releasing that fear and realize that the Nine of Swords fears, that hijacked legitimate concern that goes into the absolute worst case scenario where you feel like you can't do anything and you're trapped, recognizing that that is imaginary, that is not happening actually externally to you, that is your mind trying to protect you. It just went way too far in one direction. All right, keep that in mind. And then Judgment is clarified with the Eight of Cups. And Eight of Cups is walking away from what no longer serves you. And this is in emotional connection, emotional response, emotional history. It's a difficult thing to do, to walk away from the Eight of Cups. But when you do walk away from the Eight of Cups, seeking that new path, it's in the direction of the Nine of Cups, which is, Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment and what you want. So recognizing that walking away from those things is not a betrayal, and it is not careless of you to do so, but recognizing what is stagnant, what no longer fulfills you, what is not for you anymore, and then releasing that to be available to someone who it would be supportive and significant to at this point, allows you to propel forward on that path to what it is that you are seeking. Okay, and emotionally, that is difficult. It requires strength, that strength of character, purpose, radiant heart, and how you physically respond and actively respond to the situation needs to employ that lion, you know, within you. Because the emotional ties are going to try to snap you back, especially clarifying Judgment here. That is a whole new life is getting ready to dawn, especially with this solar eclipse coming up on the 10th. So if you're connecting with this, the timing may be significant to you. So pay attention to the timing of things, when you're having intuitive hits, when things rise up for you to consider over the next few days, what it is that you've been dealing and considering and noticing over the past couple weeks, putting all of those pieces together to sort of give you a point of, you are here, this is where you were, and this is where you would like to go, to prepare you to accept the call that is Judgment. And it requires strength of purpose and integrity and sort of a really strong willingness to release what was and step and allow yourself to be propelled into what is possible. That's not an easy thing to do. Humans are creatures of habit. Comfort is delightful and wonderful, and most people, they seek out comfort, and but comfort can turn to complacency, and complacency to stagnation, and stagnation to stuck very quickly. And when you notice that you're starting to feel complacent, heading towards stuck, those are the times to start considering all of things of this nature. And then we have two cards with the Enchanted Map Oracle. Card 50 is the Compass. Okay, so navigation, and card 21 is the field of dreams. Okay, so each of these cards comes with a quote. So with compass, we have, the quote with compass is, as long as you orient your compass to true north, the direction of your higher power, you will never be lost. Okay, so you're entering uncharted territories and can expect wonderful new experiences. Stay on the highest path to your destiny. You'll need to keep your compass pointed to true north. Money, property, prestige, romance, and other material achievements can't help you find your true path. They are simply things that you may experience along the journey. So know that Spirit's working in your favor. So even if you feel lost temporarily, it'll be easy to find your way. Have faith and trust, for your compass will ensure that you'll never be lost, even on a starless night when all seems dark. Okay, so that's trusting the intuition, paying attention to the time and circumstance, your response to those things, your observation of those things, and a fair, compassionate, objective analysis of those things so that you can choose wisely on your own behalf to stay in tune with your compass. Okay, so this is sort of relates to the High Priestess and the Hermit. Okay, and then Field of Dreams, card 21. The quote for that one is, let's see. Field of Dreams, your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are always engaging the vast field of pure potential. So this is the perfect time to harness the field of vast potential not yet realized in your life. Great abundance is yours if you're willing to do the work alongside the Gentle Gardener. Oh, the Gentle Gardener is another card in the deck. Be clear about your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. That's the review with Strength, Leo, Gemini, Libra, and Pisces that has been showing up in the readings last week. If you haven't seen last week's readings, check those out. And this will make maybe a whole lot more sense to you, actually, because this conversation has been going on for quite a while so far. So be clear about your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Concentrate on your best life, regardless of the temporary outer conditions imposed upon you by the greater world, which has its own story to tell. You have a basket full of seeds that are quite powerful, for your talents are divinely inspired and will indeed lead to a great harvest to be shared with others. You'll reap what you have sown. Dream big, dream beautiful, take action, and tend to the garden of your life and experience the extraordinary. Okay, so that is the higher goal. That is the view of the visionary. That is the call with judgment. That is releasing yourself from the hijacked concern that is dragged down into fear and nightmare. That is releasing yourself from the constraint of feeling sort of the rejection of feeling abandoned with the Five of Pentacles, the restraint and the scarcity that is involved in the Four of Pentacles. And the Queen of Cups here is going to help you to understand and employ the emotional currents that cycle through changes like that. So it's not something to be, it's something to be acknowledged, something to be felt, something to be worked with and moved through, so the flow can wash through and bring you to the next cycle of flow that is available there for emotional well-being and balance and understanding and that sort of divine feminine. And right under that, you have the Ace of Wands, which is, again, ignition and fire. So being free in order to accept opportunity when it is presented and being prepared to do so. Okay, that was quite a bit for a Monday. That is all that I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.